Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Burn the Rulebook Podcast. This is the podcast where we break down everything you were never taught about menopause, mental health, and relationships one truth at a time. I'm Rachel Boyle, a licensed couples therapist, sex therapist, and certified menopause specialist. This podcast helps you understand what is actually happening to your body, mind, and relationships, and gives you real tools to move through life with clarity, calm, and connection. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to Burn the Rulebook Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about desire. Have you ever wondered why you just don't feel in the mood out of nowhere? You know, like how you see in the movies where people just think about wanting to be together and then the next thing you know that they're having sex? So today, we're going to be talking about one of the most misunderstood parts of sexuality, and that is desire. And I'm going to give you 3 powerful takeaways. First, you're going to learn the difference between spontaneous desire, the kind that shows up suddenly, and responsive desire, which often needs the right context to get started. Second, you'll discover why knowing your unique desire style can free you from shame and change the way that you see your intimate life. And third, you'll walk away with some practical science-backed tools to nurture your desire in your real everyday life, whether that means lowering stress, creating more connection with your partner, or finding what truly turns you on. Because here's the truth. The biggest takeaway is this: your desire isn't broken. Whether it's spontaneous, responsive, or both, what matters most is creating the environment where your desire can thrive. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to start doing that. So first off, whenever women are in perimenopause and their hormones are fluctuating wildly, the desire can come and go. It's not as reliable and dependable as it was when you were in your 20s and 30s. Also, usually by this time in life, some women have been in relationships for a while and they might have kids. And this all can add stress into your life, which for a lot of people is a desire killer. And pop culture teaches us that desire should just appear out of nowhere, strong and irresistible. And for some people that might do that, and if that's the case, it's called spontaneous desire. But what science shows us is that many people, especially women, don't have spontaneous desire. They have what's called responsive desire, meaning arousal follows cues of intimacy, safety, and pleasure. Think of spontaneous desire as the hunger pains that tell you when you're ready to eat. Responsive desire, on the other hand, is like sitting down to a delicious meal. You may not have been hungry before, but once you start, you realize, oh, this feels really good. So spontaneous desire is like, I want sex right now. And a lot of women don't have spontaneous desire, especially when they're in perimenopause. So it's more common in men to have spontaneous desire, but not exclusive. Some women do experience it. And spontaneous desire can be influenced by hormones, like we talk about in perimenopause and menopause. Also novelty, having something new, and also the context that you're in. So just because you don't feel spontaneous desire doesn't mean that you're broken or that you have low desire. It just means you have a different type of desire, which is called responsive desire. Responsive desire feels like I wasn't really thinking about sex, but now that we've started cuddling, kissing, or being close, I actually really like this. And when we're done, the thing that you want to remember is that if you're responsive desire, when you're done, usually people think, oh, wow, that was really great. I wish we did this more often. So responsive desire is more common in women, and it's also more common in long-term relationships, because in long-term relationships, there's daily stress of parenting or just routine life can get boring. So there's not so many spontaneous sparks. People who have responsive desire usually want to feel a sense of safety. They want to feel a sense of trust, connection, or they have specific things that help get them in the mood. So there's this new term out there. It's called chore play. Chore play is a take on foreplay, right? But it's whenever you see your partner doing chores and helping out around the house, that actually makes you feel more connected to them. And that leads to wanting to have more sex with them. Dr. Nagowski has done a lot of research on sex and desire. And what she says is that desire isn't always the spark that starts the fire. Sometimes it's the warmth that grows after you've already lit the match. So that's more of that responsive desire. And this matters a lot for couples because a lot of times women think that there's something wrong with them. Why am I not just desiring sex out of the blue? Why is it that when I look at my partner, I don't instantly think about sex and, want to rip their clothes off? So a lot of women start to feel shame. They think that there's something wrong with them. And so having a conversation with your partner can really help to open doors on what's going to really work for the both of you. And it encourages creating context where desire can flourish, different ways of being touched, different ways to have intimacy, connection, and all of this can reduce the overall stress in your life, which then can create more space for that responsive desire. Once you understand how your desire works and that desire works differently for different people, you can stop blaming yourself or your partner and instead focus on what helps each of you feel good, connected, and turned on. So the flip side of this is that for men who a lot of times feel that spontaneous desire, sometimes they think that their partner's not interested in them because she's not having the same spontaneous desire. So they might feel rejected. They might feel like she's not turned on by them anymore. And so what I want to tell the men out there is that's just not the case. What we're taught in culture and society is that the only type of desire there is a spontaneous desire. And that really creates this false narrative that if your partner doesn't have a spontaneous desire, then they're not attracted to you. And that's just not at all true. So first of all, you want to notice your style. Are you more spontaneous? Are you responsive? Or maybe you're a mix. And you can definitely have a mix in perimenopause. Because sometimes when your estrogen gets high, that might lead to more of that spontaneous desire than when it's low. Also, responsive desire really thrives in low stress, safe, intimate environments. So for a lot of women, a low stress environment can be a partner that's sharing in the mental and emotional load of what needs to be done with the house, with the kids, with the life, right? It can mean that the bedroom's picked up. It's a romantic place to be to help you feel relaxed. And so relaxation can be really important when you're wanting to have sex because for some people, when they have responsive desire, they need things to be a little more just right for them to get in the mood. You also want to communicate openly with your partner, meaning sharing what your partner does that turns your desire switch on and what turns it off. So you need to know what turns your desire switch on and off so that you can then communicate that in a loving and kind way to your partner. Also, it's important to redefine what healthy is, right? Because both types of desire are normal, valid, and healthy. So if you've ever thought, why don't I feel like jumping my partner all the time? Just take a breath. You're not broken. You're human, whether your desire is spontaneous, responsive, or both. The truth is, your desire isn't broken. What matters most is creating the environment where your unique desire can thrive. And once you start to understand and honor how your desire works, you'll open the door to deeper, more connected intimacy and a fuller sense of aliveness in your body. You can learn more about this in Emily Nagowski's book, which is called Come As You Are. It's got a lot of really great information in there on desire and arousal, and I recommend it to all of my clients. So check out that book, learn what your desire type is, and have those open, connected communications with your partner. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks for spending time with me today. I hope you found something helpful, validating, or just a little more human in our conversation. Remember, while I am a licensed therapist, I'm not your therapist, and I'm not a medical doctor. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute medical or mental health advice. For personalized care, please consult with a licensed healthcare provider or mental health professional trained in the area you're seeking support. You deserve expert guidance that's tailored just for you.